So we were 3 hours into the trip and started to make our way back out, walking along a boulder floor when behind me the boulders gave way. This is actually a mid-level of a rift passage where the boulders have collapsed and chopped into the floor here. So we were walking along the same floor as we'd arrived along, when George stepped on one of these rocks that proved to be a chockstone and the entire floor just gave way.
So we're at the scene now, so I assume you were coming down the passage ahead of us, Mark?
Yeah, so we visited the last piece of the upper smithy, which is along here and ends in a dig at the end of the tracks. Come back along here, I just skipped across these boulders. George was coming along and I heard this almighty rumble, like an earthquake. Heard Mel scream, thinking that it had been Mel that had hurt herself, and she said, no, it's George. So I rushed back here and we were both shouting for George, and for the first couple of minutes there wasn't a sound, there was no answer, and we feared the worst. The hole that you're seeing now is looking up, so that was the floor that we were walking over, and those boulders gave way beneath George's feet and he just disappeared through that hole. As you can see, there's a lot of boulders all around the bottom of this part of the chamber. They all came down with him and he was lying atop these boulders. So in some ways it could have been worse. Imagine something this size actually landing on top of you, so at least he landed on top of the boulders. So I couldn't get down to him from where he'd fallen. It was just too dangerous. So I made my way back along the passageway which we'd come, found a hole in the floor and looked down it and felt that I could chimney down safely, and made my way down in the passage and came back to here to sort of check over him. The first couple of minutes while we were up there, there was no sound. We were shouting his name, Mel and I, and there was just nothing, and we were fearing the worst. Then we heard a groan, and as soon as I heard the groan, I knew I had to get down to him and check him over. So I got to him. There was a lot of blood, a lot of soft tissue damage to his face and under his chin. He obviously had a broken leg, and it was very quickly obvious that this was going to be a fairly major rescue. There's been a rescue from this area of the cave before, so I knew he wasn't going to be coming out the easy way. He was definitely in for the long haul. Yeah, so obviously I couldn't climb down where George had fallen, because otherwise there was a large potential of knocking more rocks down at him. And this was the first place I looked down and felt that I could safely climb down. So I chimneyed down the rift here, made my way to George and checked on George. But looking back up at it, I decided that it would be stupid to try and climb back up. The passageway that we were in had obviously previously been travelled. I didn't know where I was, but I know the cave well enough that I was sure that I would find somewhere I recognised fairly quickly.